Now, she's not on now. Do we lose everybody today because I asked a question, Andrew?
Well, Tanya usually calls by herself, so let me let me get on that.
All right. You never know. If you haven't, earlier in last hour, I asked Rachel Sutherland of Fox News a question about Obama's daughter smoking pot, and she hung up on me. What was the reason given?
I don't know what
because she's not allowed to have an opinion.
Oh, right.
But she didn't have to have an opinion. She could have just said, "I'm not following that story." Click. What that tells me is that I've gone off topic several times with Rachel Sutherland, and she doesn't like it.
She's not going to take it anymore.
Now she's had it. It's the straw that has broken the camel's back. So
the
I
joint,
now know.
if you will.
I now know I can't do that anymore. So I won't. Don Brewer coming up from Grand Funk Railroad. We'll get to that. He's playing out at the band Grand Funk Railroad, playing out at Vernon Downs on Friday night. And we'll also talk about this story that is still brewing down in Mohawk and German Flats. It's the family that owns the Creekside Mobile Home Park, and we've been trying to get officials from German Flats to come on the air and speak with us about it. We know there's a court appearance that's going to be coming up. The German Flats Town Council voted against the family that owns the trailer park and voted for shutting that down because they say it's in a floodplain. I'm not sure they have the legal right to shut that down, to be honest with you. And we're trying to reach somebody, including Frank Spotto, who's the highways or the town supervisor down there. Andrew, any luck from down there?
No, several calls have been unanswered. Several messages that have been left have been unanswered, and I also have left messages for a council person there to no avail.
We've heard stories like this one happen over the years where, boy, you're running through Central Park. You want to be careful. There's someone out there that's attacking people or attacking women, and that is the story that's going on right now. Tanya Powers with us right now from Fox News in New York City. It's scary, Tanya.
It is. It's extremely scary. And then this is a situation that runners face, especially women who run nationwide. I mean, it's not just here in New York City, although this seems to be where, when something like this happens, it makes headlines, obviously. And the thing that's interesting about these two, the one here in New York City as well as the one in Massachusetts that happened just a few days apart, they were both in broad daylight. That's the other kind of, thing that really sticks in your head. One of these, Karina Vetrano, she was murdered last Tuesday while she was out for a run in Queens in the Howard Beach area. There's a nature preserve near her home. It's where she normally runs. About 5 o'clock in the evening when she went out. And the sun's still up. Sun's not going down for a while at 5 o'clock, so it's not like she was running in the dark. And she knew the area. The other one was Vanessa Marcotte, and she was killed Sunday afternoon, 1:15 in the afternoon in Princeton, Massachusetts.
Yes, this is happening right in broad daylight.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things that just really, it's disturbing on so many levels, the fact that these two young women were killed so brutally, but the fact that it was done in daylight that just kind of makes you just wow.
And running is the one thing that that really defies the logic of safety. And what I mean by that is people are always told, especially women, especially young women, you're always told, go in pairs. And I want you to don't do anything alone. I mean, you want to be with somebody. It's always important. But runners don't really abide by that.
A lot of them don't. Now, I know I do follow a running group on Facebook here in New York City, and they always are stressing, they have a lot of group runs, and they say, it doesn't matter if you aren't of the, if you're not a marathoner, it's okay. Come on and join our group. We won't run off and leave you. So they make it easier for people to run in a group if you like to, but sometimes, your schedule just doesn't go with that, and you can't. So there are a lot of safety tips, especially for women who run. And a lot of that's been hitting, especially social media boards and things like that. Especially now, in light of these two murders, it's horrific.
The New York Post had an interview with the parents yesterday, and this is one that raises, just puts the chills through you when you read it. And it's the dad that discovered his daughter's body, and according to the Post and according to their interview, he had this weird premonition that it wasn't going to be safe out there on that day, talked to his daughter and said, I don't think you should go out in the park alone running. And he said that her final words to him were, it's okay, Daddy, I will be all right. which is just a terrible, terrible story.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and I think as a parent, I know that I've had that kind of, you get that sort of uneasy kind of feeling from time to time.
Yeah, and most times, right, that feeling turns out to be you're okay. Everything's okay.
Right.
But you still have it.
Yeah, you do. And I feel for those parents. If you've seen any of the video or heard the dad describing how he's trying to raise money for the reward for this, he wants to push it up to $100,000. I think the NYPD already put in $20,000 for the reward for information leading to the arrest of her killer. The dad, Philip Vetrano, is trying to get it up to $100,000. Now I know, as of a few hours ago, I think it was within 16 hours of his GoFundMe account that he launched to get more money for this. He'd already gotten like $27,000. He's a former New York City firefighter. So it's heart-wrenching to hear him talk about his daughter and finding the killer. I have no doubt in my mind that he won't rest until he finds him.
Yeah. All right, Tanya, you want to add?
No, just quickly, you talked about some of the similarities early on. It's not believed that this is the same individual who's responsible, is it? At least not at this point?
Well, they have not ruled out a link, but they're not saying there is one.
Okay.
I think that right now they're still kind of putting the pieces together on it. And just to kind of see, but who knows? Thankfully we have police to do that.
And this day and age, it could be just somebody, a copycat.
It could.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? But they're still looking at the possibility for a link, and I don't think the cause of death has yet been released. I know the autopsy hadn't been released as of like a day ago for the Massachusetts one.
All right.
Thanks,
All right, Tanya. Terrible story. And again, New York is really known these days as being safe. And it's stories like these that just it scares you.
It reminds you that, crime is everywhere.
Crime is everywhere. All right. Thanks so much.
Mm-hmm.